Am I live? It's saying I'm live. I'm breaking like one of my cardinal rules, which is going on live camera for the world to see me with no makeup on, except for a little bit of lip gloss so I don't look dead. But the rest of me has no makeup on, and you know what? I just don't care. I really just don't care. I have a message. God has a message that he wants to get out to the people. He's using me as a willing vessel. Some days I'm wondering, what are you thinking? But here we are. I did actually order a green screen so I can start trying to figure out how to do a background that looks decent. So hopefully these will get a little bit easier to deal with from a eyesight perspective. But wanted to get this video out talking about the May 18th primary election that we just had yesterday in Pennsylvania. Yes, we had another election. What? Didn't we just have one? We did. But after the debacle of 2020, if you're anything like me and you decided to actually start following along with politics and what the heck is going on in the world, you come to find out that there's an election every 6 months. Yes, every 6 months there is an election in Pennsylvania. And if we want to stop complaining and actually do something about the corruption in our state, we have to start at the local level by getting involved and making our voices heard by voting in every election. So that is what I started to do. And what a mind-blowing experience it has become thus far. We had people running for our local school board, city council, mayor, tax collector. We have a Supreme Court justice position open, several other judge positions open, and it was definitely an experience in and of itself. For the first time, I found myself reaching out to candidates, asking them questions about their views on certain issues that are important to me, and I have learned so much. I thought I wanted to share it with you. So the extra special good news about Pennsylvania yesterday is we got a chance to vote on 3 constitutional amendments. The first 2 will limit Tyrant Wolfe's emergency declaration that he has had us trapped in for the last, I don't know, a little over a year for a disease that has a 99% survival rate, plenty of treatments, and now a vaccine. We still have to be under his emergency declaration so that he can control us. Yay! We voted on constitutional amendments that would take the power away from him and put them in the hands of the General Assembly, which is our House and our Senate, by a simple majority vote from a House resolution. And the people voted yes on that. I think so far, I don't know that all the mail-in ballots are tallied yet, which in and of itself is an interesting situation, but most of them I do believe are. It's still an unofficial result, but it looks like the questions that we had on the ballot, number 1 and number 2, did pass from we the people. So that means that Governor Wolfe, his emergency declaration will only be able to be 21 days. And if he wants it renewed, he will have to go through the legislature to renew it, or they have the sole power to end it. He no longer has the power to keep us locked down, masked up, essential, non-essential businesses. It is back in the hands of we the people, hopefully. Now, you would think if you were a governor and your people voted for a constitutional amendment, which is kind of a pretty big deal. It's kind of the last stop of trying to make change in your state. The bills become laws. They go through the House, they pass the Senate. The governor has a chance to veto them. If the governor vetoes, they can go back through the House and the Senate. If there's a 2/3 majority vote, it gets a chance to go into a law. But if you've gone through all of that stuff and you still can't get anywhere with what you want to do, there are constitutional amendments that you can have in your state. And that's what the people voted on. So you would think that the governor would get the idea that, like, yeah, this is what the people want. So, okay. But no, that's not what he did. He's not satisfied. So he has come out publicly and stated that because this is a public health emergency, that's actually separate from an emergency declaration that we've been under this entire time. So he's going to continue to fight, supposedly maybe take this to court, and continue to try to impose his tyrannical behavior on the citizens of his state, despite their will otherwise. What does that sound like? Does that sound like a dictator? Think it does. I think Wolfie's going to have to go really soon. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but we're working on it. Oh my gosh, people are actually on here watching me. It is 1 a.m. You guys are night owls like me. So yeah, why is it 1 a.m. and I'm doing a live YouTube video? Because I'm a night person and this is what works for me. And I needed to put a message out, and I thought, you know what? Before I do what else needs done in my house and hit the sack, I'm going to do a quick video. So it's awesome to see people actually on here watching me. So our primary, that was the biggest thing. We are celebrating that yes, we voted yes on the first two amendments. We're going to get our freedoms back, our liberties to breathe fresh air. And if you run a business, actually be able to run your business and make a living to put food on the table for your family. But no, the governor's still going to fight us on that. So he is a complete lunatic. Yes, we have been in touch with David Jose. If you're following anything that's going along with Kayla Bouncer, answer that in a question. If you're in a second, if you're following Arizona and Michigan and New Hampshire and all that stuff, there's a guy named David Jose who we've recently been introduced to, who's walking the people through how to get things moving in the government in terms of auditing the vote when the legislators don't want to do that. So we are in touch with him, and I'm kind of wondering if he will be able to help us maybe with our governor situation. Perhaps we can tell Governor Wolfe, get out. The people voted one way. You still want to fight us. That's not really how representative government is supposed to work. We hear this word democracy thrown out an awful lot. What does democracy mean? Democracy means if you take a vote, the majority of people win, period. However, our government was set up to be a constitutional republic utilizing democratic processes so that we have a representative government. But the coolest thing about a constitutional republic is it is designed to protect the individual's rights. So even if this mob of people thinks that you should do one thing or live your life one way, you as an individual are protected by inalienable rights that come directly from God, not from other people, certainly not from a government, so that those rights cannot be infringed upon. And then when we elect our representatives to represent us in this government, we use democratic processes to do that. I wonder if that is coming. Is that beeping coming through on my video? I don't know. Can you tell I'm a rookie at this? But a lot of the talking heads in the media and crazy far left socialists that are trying to take over our country use the term democracy. They throw that around a lot, that President Trump challenging the election was a threat to our democracy, and that's a threat to our democracy. And what they don't understand is we're not a full-blown democracy. Actually, they're in the process of taking us there. But they're not going to succeed because a full-blown democracy means that mob rules and the individual has no rights. And that's not what anybody wants, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican that I'm aware of. So if Governor Wolfe is so concerned about our democracy, well, our democratic process of an election chose to end his emergency declaration. So by him basically saying, I don't care, I'm still going to push this because that's what I want, he is voluntarily putting a target on himself saying, hi, I'm a dictator and a tyrant, and I don't want the people in my state to live the life that they want to, but I want them to live the life that I choose for them. Can you tell I'm a little bit irritated? The last two amendments. The third one was to add a anti-discrimination clause, or not clause, an amendment to our Constitution saying that you can't discriminate based on race or ethnicity, which in my opinion is already in the Constitution. I think this is somewhat redundant and could potentially lead to some scary things down the road, but it is what it is, and it did pass. Yes, it passed overwhelmingly. And then the last question that we voted on was whether volunteer fire departments should have access to government loans and government funded things. I personally had voted no on that because when I talk to people in my community about that, I can't explain this very well. I'm not good at articulating the specifics, but it's something to do with it can actually hurt the volunteer fire departments. In fact, maybe it was so that the smaller paid fire departments could have access to government funding. And what that could do is actually end up hurting the volunteer fire departments somehow. Again, I'm usually pretty good at explaining stuff. I don't have really good grasp or understanding of that, so I can't explain it in detail, but that one did pass too. So they all got voted yes on. Of course, the governor doesn't care about the last two because the Democratic agenda, they were campaigning, telling their people to vote no, no, yes, yes. And so since they all went yes, he's only fighting the first two because that doesn't fit his agenda. He doesn't care about the people. Great. My group, Audit the Vote PA, is focusing on election integrity, and we are full steam ahead with that because just because the first two amendments went the way that most of us wanted them to, we still saw some really shady activity yesterday in our primary election, which actually is turning out to be a blessing in disguise because now we know exactly what precincts to look at for 2020. We got inundated with messages of people seeing all kind of shenanigans, ballots, Republican ballots running out of them as early as 2:00 in the afternoon. In fact, today I even heard there was a precinct that ran out of Democrat and Republican ballots. Let me give you a tip, something that I've learned recently. Polling locations should never run out of ballots. Why? Because there is written in the law how many they're actually supposed to have printed when they have an election. And in an off year, an odd year like this was 2021, the process was you go back through the law, the year 2019, 2017, and 2015 primaries, and you're supposed to have printed whatever the biggest turnout was from those 3 years. You have to print that number of ballots plus 10% to allow for growth and extra people coming out that maybe weren't in those last 3 primaries on the odd years. So if that was done correctly, how in the world did they run out of ballots at 2 in the afternoon? Your guess is as good as mine. I can only assume that we should audit the vote, because just because certain things went the direction I wanted them to go, I still care about your voice if you're on the opposite side. That's called a constitutional republic. And when you believe in the Constitution, you stand up for all the freedoms, not just the ones you agree with. Katie, let's see what your comment is. My polling. She was clueless, told me to ask the county. Okay, so our voting machines, unfortunately, we were trying to get those tabled for the May 18th primary, which clearly we did not get. But 14 counties have Dominion machines. Did you say what county you're in? Thank you, Emily. We do appreciate it. I don't know if she said what county she was in. Katie, if you want to drop what county you're in, oh wait, there it is, Adams County. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. 14 counties have Dominion machines. My particular county that I am in does not. It uses ES&S. Based on what I've seen, there's actually not a safe there's actually not a safe county, or there's not a safe electronic machine. If it is a black box voting machine loaded with Smartmatic software, which I believe every single one in the state of Pennsylvania is, don't quote me 100% on that, but I'm fairly certain they all need to go. They're all hackable. And someone in the county level tells you, but we don't have an internet connection in here. Well, let me ask you something then. How do you get cell phone service in here if there's no internet connection? It's called 4G. And what those machines have is essentially a SIM card implanted on the inside of them that can still be accessed by an internet. It is still hackable. It's even in the Dominion manuals and all the other, it's right in their manuals. The media is just trying to totally gaslight us and tell us it's not possible. They're not hackable. They're completely hackable. And if we want free and fair elections, we have got to get rid of the machines. That's kind of a really big deal moving forward. And that's what Audit the Vote PA is focusing on. So we are having an event. If you're in Pennsylvania on the western side and you are available this weekend, we are hosting Dr. Doug Frank on the 23rd, which is Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. at the Cathedral in Newcastle. And he's going to be running through his analysis based on the data of the 2020 election, which I have seen plenty of it already. It is fascinating. There are a lot of data experts working on just analyzing how the different numbers went and how they've gone in the past. And his analysis is pretty interesting and makes it kind of easier for those of us that are on the ground trying to confirm whether or not these mail-in ballots were completely legitimate, or if they're phantom votes or sleeper votes or whatever people are calling them. There's certainly plenty of those. I did some canvassing myself a couple of weeks ago on the ground, first time ever. Totally didn't want to knock on a door. 2 things I said I wasn't going to do actually when I started this venture, when I felt that God was leading me to do this. I said, I'm not fundraising and I'm not knocking on doors. And guess what we're doing right now? We're fundraising and we're knocking on doors. Great. 2 hours away, Caleb. Well, we are going to have it recorded. So I think we've decided we're not going to live stream it, but we are going to have it recorded somehow because it is our first fundraising event. We're charging $20 a ticket for people to come, which is essentially a donation to Audit the Vote PA. And we didn't think it was fair to live stream it for people, but then have other people that had paid $20 to see it. So we're going to record it and offer the link somehow for a donation fee, just to try to keep it fair for everybody. So stay tuned for that if you can't make it. And that's really our next big thing. That's our next big push. Our signatures are blowing up. They're going through the roof. We are really getting close to 40,000. We're approaching 40,000 signatures. I just pulled them from tonight. I think we're over 37,000. We're averaging, like today was actually an info down in this description. Katie, if I can figure out how to get to the description, yes, I will. Let's see. How do I do that? I don't know how I do that. Oh, in the description of my video. All right, let me try that. Dr. Doug Frank. Can't believe you guys watch people that do this. I feel like May 23rd, 2 p.m. Cathedral in Newcastle. $20. You can purchase tickets on our, let me know if that worked. I don't know if that worked or not. I did try to put it in there. You can purchase tickets directly on our website, auditthevopa.com. Go to the updates tab, and there is something you can click on, a post that I did. You can click on, I think there's a flyer with Dr. Frank's picture, and you can go to it and get tickets that way as well. If you just are willing to donate, which I cannot believe I'm asking for, I hate asking for money. Cannot believe this is where God has led me, but apparently here we are. We do have a Give Send Go account, givesendgo.com/auditthevotePA. If you would like to donate to us, we would very much appreciate it, because unfortunately this stuff isn't free, and we've been in contacts with tons of lawyers. In fact, we talked to one not long ago that charged us $200 just for 30 minutes of his time to tell us that he couldn't help us. Great. But we're not stopping. When we meet with somebody to figure out how we're going to move forward, Jamie and Karen and I have this attitude of, we're going to get an audit. We are going to fix our state. We are going to expose the corruption and make sure our elections are free and fair moving forward. And we don't care how we have to get there, as long as it's honest, legal, ethical, and moral. Are you going to help us, or do we have to find somebody else? That's just our attitude. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Emily. That's so nice of you. Thank you. So that's how we approach every meeting. So we're not deterred or despondent when we get off the phone with somebody that says, no, we can't really help you. We just think, okay, next. Who are we working with next? So got a lot of people on our side, a ton of support, an overwhelming amount of support. We appreciate it so very much. This is not about me and Jamie and Karen. This is really about Pennsylvania and ensuring that our elections moving forward are free and fair, because the 2020 election was everything but, and I don't even know words that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube that are going to get me booted off. So I'll try to sidestep that a little bit for now. The data is insane. Come on, if you come out on Sunday, or if you're willing to watch the link. In fact, all you have to do is go watch Mike Lindell's Absolute Proof, or not even Absolute, that was his first one, Scientific Proof. Dr. Doug Frank was interviewed by Mike Lindell on Scientific Proof. It's astonishing. I believe Bobby Pitton just dropped a bunch of data as well today for Pennsylvania that shows you there's no way that this election was free and fair. And based on what we saw yesterday at our primary election, wow, we got some work to do. So much work to do. People are excited about the affidavits in Georgia. Katie, we are working on it. That's one of the avenues. We've kind of, the direction that we've gone, we've kind of got several paths. I feel like we're in a spider web right now. We have all these options that we've looked into and figured out what's dead ends and what's not. And we've got several paths right now that we're kind of working on all at the same time. One of them is the affidavits and David Jose. So we want to kind of keep our other efforts going to make sure that if something falls through, we still have another avenue, because we are absolutely not stopping. I mean, sorry, but 2020 was stolen. Am I allowed to say that? It was, sorry. So we've got options, but that is one of them. We'll see how it pans out. There's actually other people I've talked to across our state who are working on that as well. You would not believe the patriots in Pennsylvania. Like, I know that things have been kind of silent on the media front, but the stuff going on behind the scenes is crazy, crazy, crazy. A lot of them have bought tickets. I'm going to get to meet them in person for the first time on Sunday, but I've been on the phone with them, and they are just flat out red-blooded American patriots willing to save this country and restore integrity to our election system. I can't wait. Due to help. Many are watching. What you can do is what we've heard in our legislators. Well, first of all, share the petition, because the more signatures that we get, the better. I'll answer a quick question I get all the time. Well, how many do we need to get an audit? Well, there's really no law in the books that says if once we get to this many signatures on a petition, they have to audit it. But what the signatures on the petition do is they give us leverage and credibility. And we were just talking to legislators today that are like, a month ago, you guys were just at 15,000. You're already like, you've almost tripled in 30 days. We're like, yeah. And you should see the look on their faces when they hear that, and the growth and the support that's behind it. It carries a lot of weight, and therefore they're more likely to listen to us. You know, they know that the people are behind this, so we need to keep pushing for signatures. We were starting to average about 1,000 a day. It's now started to taper down a little bit. We still today, on a bad day, we got like 400, maybe 500 signatures today. So what we're finding, Karen and Jamie and I are just finding is that if we do an interview like once a week with an influencer or somebody that's got a pretty massive audience, it gives us a really good shot in the arm with a ton of signatures. And then they kind of start tapering off a little bit. And then we'll do another interview and get a bunch more. So I honestly think we're going to get to 100,000 within the next like 45, maybe 60 days, maybe sooner. But based on what we've seen so far, we should be at 100,000 signatures sooner rather than later, which is exciting. So sharing the petition, getting signatures, especially Pennsylvania. Yes, other people are welcome to. We want Jovan. We will cross that bridge when we get to it, Caleb. We got to get them to agree to let us audit first or somehow force them to do it. Then we'll figure out who's going to actually do it. We do in Pennsylvania have connections with Mike Lindell and his team. Doug Frank is working directly with us. And so we do kind of have some connections that things could go that route. So stay hopeful on that. Share the petition. We have been told by our legislators that the leadership in the Pennsylvania General Assembly are the ones that are not for a full forensic audit. That leadership is Kim Ward. She is this majority leader in the Senate, Senator Kim Ward. Kerry Benninghoff is the Speaker of the House. So he's the House of Representatives. He's their leader. And then we have Jake Corman, who is the president pro tempore of the Senate. I don't even know what that means. So if you could send emails to those three folks urging them to get behind Audit the Vote PA, that you are very much in favor, tons of support all over the state. And if they want to get reelected, they really need to audit the 2020 election. That would be very helpful. The more those three folks are what we are hearing is the roadblock that's holding this up. So the more they get, the better. Their email addresses are on our Telegram channel. I posted them yesterday. They're on our Facebook page. I can't off the top of my head remember what they are, but I do know they're out there. So you can easily get that. You can also just Google, go to the website, call them, find their phone numbers. We're still trying to figure out what information to put out there that really helps people take action on their end. But those are the two things you can do for us right now is email or call those three people, tell them you want a full forensic audit of 2020. You are completely behind the patriots in the state. It's not even just Audit the Vote PA. There's grassroots organizations like ours that are popping up everywhere. It is so refreshing. There's so many of us kind of running parallel to each other. We've got a group called Health Freedom PA that's run by Diana Campbell. She's amazing. She's educating people on the risks of the vaccine. Or am I allowed to say vaccine on here? I don't know. The not even anti-vax, just know your risk, medical freedom. We're just, if you're a patriot, you just want to make your own choices. You don't want other people to make the choices for you, or you be in a situation where other people have to make the choices for you. So, Katie, one last question. Were the hearings that the legislature held over the last few months a waste of time? In my opinion, yes, completely. I think they were paper pushing, just corporate paper pushing. I think they did that to appease the public. I don't think I know they didn't get to the bottom of what the real issue is, at least not, or they would have had to do an audit because the irregularities are off the charts. There were 15,000 mail-in ballots that were sent out of state. Think about that in the middle of a pandemic, COVID-19. All the colleges are closed. Everybody's cyber learning from home. No one's actually live in class. Who's traveling? It's September, October, November of 2020. Was anybody traveling? I don't think so, because we were told you had to quarantine for 14 days if you went somewhere and you came back to the state. You had to stay home for 2 weeks before you could actually live a normal life. Why in the world, when nobody was traveling, were there 15,000 mail-in ballots requested from registered voters, supposedly, in Pennsylvania and then mailed out of state? Does that make any sense? Oh, and coincidentally enough, the houses that I personally canvassed were coming from that particular set of data. And out of the 6 houses that I knocked on, 5 of them were fraudulent ballots. Surprise! That's an alarming number. So if you just do the percentages, let's say, I don't know, 85, 90%, let's be conservative. Let's say 75% of those 15,000 ballots that went out of state were fraudulent. That's quite a bit. I think we should look at that. I have the current voter rolls updated as of, I believe, the 3rd of May that I requested from the state. It's actually public record. You can request that. And there are still plenty of dead people on those. Oh yeah, dead people voting. Isn't that fun? Dead people who have requested a permanent mail-in ballot, which means every February, I believe, I don't know exactly, I'm gonna screw up the specifics of this, but there's a way that you can click a box that you will automatically get your application to receive your mail-in ballot every single year. It's just automatic. They will, not the ballot itself. They'll send you the application. That was something Act 77 gave us, the lovely Act 77. Oh, good. I'm glad, Katie. That's what I do, provide information. So your mail-in ballot, you can automatically get an application to remind you to, hey, you want to get your mail-in ballot for this election. Well, there are dead people on our voter rolls that are somehow set up for automatic mail-in ballot applications. How does that happen? If they were dead prior to 2020, actually Act 77 was passed in the fall of 2019, and there are a good amount of people who were dead before that are signed up for an automatic ballot. A little strange. Do you think that's a little strange? I think that's like way strange. So again, we just want an audit of the 2020 election. This is like my longest YouTube video I think I've ever done. It's 25 minutes. I've enjoyed sharing with you guys. I read a ton. I keep up with the Pennsylvania as closely as I can. I'm not following the other states as closely just because I'm crazy busy with Audit the Vote PA and trying to get things done here in Pennsylvania. So I will try to keep you guys updated. I feel like I'm very much a talker. I'm very too long-winded a lot of the times. I end up saying I'm going to wrap up and I don't at all. But I really do want to wrap this up because it's 1:27 a.m. and you guys are still up like me. We're night owls together. I did have something else I wanted to share with you guys I thought could help. And I don't remember what it was. I do that all the time. Pennsylvania mail-in ballots. What are we talking about? Yes, we are not going to give up, Emily. Thank you for the encouragement. There's no way we're giving up because we've seen too much. In fact, when somebody tries to tell me right now, our elections are awesome, they're free and fair, and there was nothing funny. Yeah, you're blind because we've seen entirely too much to believe that, and especially after yesterday. I mean, the running out of ballots, Sharpie markers. Oh yes, maybe that's what I wanted to do. Yesterday's. We provided a place on our website for people to document their experience at the polls yesterday if they saw something kind of funky. And I think there's over 70 comments on that post just today. It's been 24 hours of people describing a strange experience at the polls or something that just didn't look like it was on the up and up. And one of them was Sharpies. Now, didn't we hear in the 2020 election that if you were using a black Sharpie to fill out your ballot, that ballot was fed into a machine, and because of the black Sharpie, there was a higher chance that the ballot was going to get kicked to an adjudication process, which means that human eyeballs are going to have to look at that ballot and determine what the voter intent was. Basically, bigger chance of fraud. That was a great idea. Yeah, right? So we knew that in 2020, and yet there were still precincts all over our state still using Sharpie markers. Huh? Okay. Voters. Oh, we hear voters. Well, we can't have voter ID because that's voter suppression. I have news for you. I have people they've even commented on our website. Judge of elections, inspectors of elections have commented and said, listen, these politicians are lying. Democrats and Republicans agree we want voter ID. 75% of the people in our state, according to the polls, want voter ID. This is not a skin color issue. It's not a political party issue. It's an American citizen free and fair election issue. We want voter ID, but the politicians are saying, no, 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 no. Voter suppression. Voter suppression. Well, how about this? How about if you go to the polls at 12 noon and you are told that, I'm sorry, you're a registered Republican and we're out of Republican ballots. So you can either stick around all day and wait for us to get them, or you're just going to have to leave, but we can't take your vote. Does that sound like, I think that sounds like voter suppression a little more than just saying you need a driver's license, you have to be 18 and an American citizen if you want to vote. Come on. So again, just stuff that went on all over. Voter ID is a must. I completely agree. And Pennsylvania has a little bit of history. I did a video. I'm not going to redo it. You can go look. It has a history. It's actually passed before and got shut down by the courts because people fought it. So we're in a tough spot. Pennsylvania is definitely in a tough spot. Lots of corruption, lots of things that we need to uncover and look at and unpack so that we can fix things moving forward, so we can ensure a free country for our kids. I'm a mom. The thing that drives me in all of this, I have a husband I've been married to for 16 years, I think. 3 kids. They're 10, 6, and 3. They're all girls. Yes, pray for me, please. I love them madly, and this is why I do what I do, because I don't want to leave them to a communist, socialist state. I want them to have the freedoms that I enjoyed as a kid growing up. So that is it on the questions. I've so enjoyed people actually, when I've done my videos in the past, nobody was actually watching. I was just talking to myself. Great work, and know that people need this vital information. They absolutely do. Get involved. What you can do is get involved at the local level. If you're in Pennsylvania, you can volunteer as a 21 years, 3 kids, girl, boy, girl. Aw. You can get involved locally as a poll watcher or a poll worker or a judge of elections, inspector of elections. There's so many things you can do locally. Even if you don't want to work the polls in an election, you can just get involved in your committees, your Republican committees. Host town halls, get people to meet the candidates. That's kind of one of the things I'm going to do next locally for the November election. I found that in trying to research a lot of the candidates that were running for school board, different things, and trying to find out more about them and their values and where they stand, it was hard to get a hold of them. And most of the people I network with in my own community, like, we don't know who the candidates are, what they stand for, what their views are. And so that's the thing. You can host town halls and invite everybody that's running for office so that they can talk about themselves, and then open it up for some questions so we can have civil discourse among people in the community and the candidates running for office, not to berate them or put them down or debate even or argue, just to find out where do you stand on important things like critical race theory in our schools, or the mask issue, if people should next year have to be, kids should be forced to wear masks, or most people don't know this. September 17th, there's a federal law that actually every year, September 17th, public schools in Pennsylvania are required by law to teach the Constitution, for the kids to read the Constitution. 90% of the schools don't enforce that, and mostly it's because they don't even know about it. So we got to start educating our school boards and letting them know about these things. Oh, that was really why I got in here. I host Constitution classes. I just wrapped one up tonight. It is incredibly informative. If you like this video, if you think I'm giving you a lot of information, you really need to sign up for my next Constitution class. It's free of charge. It's 6 weeks, one night a week for 6 weeks. It's all via Zoom. So even if you're not in Pennsylvania, you can be anywhere and take this class. You will learn a ton. This is kind of how I started on this political journey, was right around November timeframe. I signed up to take one of these free classes. It's through Patriot Academy. Guy that owns that company is Rick Green, amazing patriot. He was a Texas state legislator. He has a law degree, started his own company basically to educate our constitutional principles and our founding fathers. He's affiliated with David Barton. So again, we just wrapped up a 10-week course tonight. It was our last night. We're starting another one on June the 9th at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, June the 9th. I also have a student from this previous class who's starting his own class. He's going to be on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and he's hosting the 10-week version. So I think I put the link to register in this video, but if you want it and don't have it, I'm in the middle of nowhere. How do I find out how to get involved? You have to search for, if you're a conservative, I hate to make it about political party, but it's just the system that we're in now. But if you're conservative, Carol, you look in your county, Google your, whatever county you're in, Republican committee, and you start there. There should be a Republican committee in every county across the state of Pennsylvania. Start there. There'll be a head of it. Somebody, you'll find a chairperson. You want to contact them and find out when their next meeting is. That is a great place to start. For example, if you're in Allegheny County, Google Allegheny County Republican Committee. There's probably a lot because Allegheny County is really big, but that's where you start. Attend that meeting and you can go from there. What else? Constitution. It's called Constitution Alive. It is my opinion, and it's based on a lot of reading and a lot of evidence, that the reason Pike County, that we're in this situation that we're in our country today, is because an entire generation, if not two, has been indoctrinated with a socialist agenda, and they've been taught that our founding fathers were evil, and our country was built on slavery and bigotry and racism and hate and just greed, and that's actually not true at all. Now, that doesn't mean our foundation was perfect. It was far from perfect. They did plenty wrong. We are all born of a sin nature. Sin nature is just part of life. It is unavoidable. But they didn't set the country up that way. And unfortunately, because we've had generations of people, like I said, at least one, maybe two generations just indoctrinated with a complete agenda that just is not based on facts or truth at all, we have a lot of work to do to fix that and to get people educated on the right things, to move forward in unity as Americans, regardless of your skin color or your religion or whatever your background is. We are all American citizens. We live in the freest country, the most prosperous country in the history of the world, and we need to teach people the foundation of why that is so that we can preserve it moving forward. And that starts with reading, studying, and learning the Constitution. So I hope some of you guys will sign up. I signed up for the class. Yay! Homeschool class for your whole family. Yes, I highly recommend it. Yeah, my family is inundated. This is pretty much all I talk about. And we can't defend, there's so many rights given to us in the Constitution that most people don't even know they have. And that's why the Tyrant Wolfe was able to just get up there and make his mandates and do his stuff, and nobody fought back because I didn't even know what my rights were in March of 2020. And so we were all scared. A virus, I don't want to die. I certainly don't want to kill somebody else. So of course I'll stay in my house and not see anybody for months on end. And then when you go out, cover your face, like, yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody. And then you start thinking, maybe there's more to this. You find out the history. Our founding fathers had an insane distrust of power because they knew that governments always, 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 always end up corrupt. Why? Because they have people in them, and human nature is sinful. We lust for money. We lust for power. We are greedy by nature. And therefore, governments are always there is corruption. There is no way around it. They set it up to be run by the most amount of people as possible on a Judeo-Christian moral foundation and fabric that could keep things as pure as possible for as long as possible. And most people have no idea. So when you find out that it's more about your rights, it makes it a lot easier to walk as a free human being. Do you clip your best rants about I love your quick monologues. I rant in my kitchen every night watching YouTube. I don't. Emily, I am a total rookie. I started doing live videos on my Facebook Live. Oh, gosh, I don't even know when I did my first one. It was probably around this time last year, just because I really felt led. I was learning so much. I have a really strong faith in Jesus, and I just felt like he was telling me, you need to show the world who you've become since that you found me and all the stuff that you're learning. And I really didn't want to do it. I still don't want to do it, but I'm just being obedient. So I'm a rookie. I have really no idea how to do these videos. I figure it out one day at a time. Like I said when I started, I just bought like a green screen thing so I can get a cooler background than what you're seeing back there. This is my husband's shed. This is turning into my she shed studio, but it started out as his shed, which is why there's a four-wheeler behind me and all kind of crazy man dirty stuff. And then here I am, his wife, just sitting here doing videos. So if you are able to help me, please do. I am open for suggestion and help from anybody that is able to give it. Carol, I'm glad you love it. Yeah, so that's that. I think I'm going to end my stream. I've enjoyed chatting. Maybe at some point I'll start doing some type of regular thing. I have a lot of people on my Facebook requesting like, hey, you need to do more videos, more YouTube. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Let me know what you guys want to know. I will keep you posted on everything that's going on in PA. I want to help. Okay. Are you on Telegram? I am personally on Telegram. Yes. Audit the Vote PA is also on Telegram. I recommend you definitely follow that. I know Facebook. I hate Facebook too. I just have a lot of followers on there. Yes, you can. You can also send an email if you want to help volunteer in Pennsylvania to work with Audit the Vote PA with all the different things we have going on. You send an email to auditthevotepA@gmail.com with your name and what county you're in. And we will drop a Telegram link. Okay. And we will get oh crap, how do I find Telegram? You can tell I'm so old. Most of you guys maybe saw me on, oh shoot, did I just turn my camera off? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you tell? Most of you might have seen me on B. Hizzy's interview. I had no idea that he was only 18. He just graduated high school. I'm 42, so I'm old. Just figuring this out for the first time. And I'm on my Telegram channel trying to figure out how to get the link so I can drop it in the comments. Give me a minute. I don't know if you guys are still seeing me. There's a possibility that I've X'd you out somehow, and I didn't mean to. Link in the comments, Telegram channel. There we go. Save. Okay. Yes, I saw you. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. I'm not ancient. Oh, thank God. You watch him, and he gives me so much hope for the younger generation. I cannot believe, like, he's as young as he is. He's so wise, and it gives me hope for my kids that I can raise them to not be indoctrinated. They can have good, strong morals and values and conservative beliefs and love Jesus and love this country and actually still exist. They're still out there. It's so, and Nick Moseder too. Like, I'm just meeting all these people that are just great conservatives, and they're younger, and it blows my mind. It does my heart good, because my generation is probably, I'm Generation X, and we're probably the last generation that might have had some type of moral fabric in public schools. I think it all pretty much went downhill after I graduated, and certainly college. Oh dear God, the indoctrination of college. It won't turn blue. Does that mean it's not a link? How do I make it a link? don't know. I see why people's videos end up being so long. I don't plan to talk. I don't know how to make it a link. Live chat details. Cancel. Yay, Carol. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked when I found out he was only, yes, I was too. I'm like, he's 18. I think I asked him if he had kids. Good grief. It might be my settings. It probably is my settings. I just don't know how to fix my settings. Let's see. What if I put it in the chat? Does that work? Ooh, that made it a link. Sweet. There. He's not kid friendly, really? Really? Like inappropriate, not kid friendly, or he just doesn't like kids? He's 18. I wouldn't want kids either. Telegram type in audit the vote PA and it shows right up. It does. I'm also on Gab. My counterpart Karen, she handles all our social media stuff. She's actually starting a Gab account for Audit the Vote. I am personally on Gab, but Audit the Vote officially, I guess, didn't have its own Gab, whatever the heck they're calling that account or whatever. But we will soon. You're so down the earth. He hates diapers. Good thing I didn't launch off on that stuff then. My youngest, my 3-year-old, this is huge. She peed on the potty for the first time yesterday. Praise the Lord. What an answer to prayer. My gosh, she did not want anything to do with it for so long. I thought we were going to have a 16-year-old in diapers. And she's finally potty trained. I'm glad I didn't start launching off into all that stuff on his show. This is good to know. If you want to send me some stuff about him, because I might end up doing another interview on his show, that would be great. Leanne. Okay. Yeah, Lipo. I wasn't sure what that was. Hi, Leanne. It's very nice to meet you. Be right back. Click the link. My cell phone. Yes, you sent me your cell phone. Okay. Are you in Pennsylvania? I'm assuming you're in Pennsylvania. But yeah, we would love the more volunteers we have, the better, because it's crazy busy. This is 24/7, and I homeschool my kids. This is my first year homeschooling them, so it went really well. We're going to do it again. Okay. He's in need of a wife. I can't help him there. I wish I had a daughter that was like closer to his age. That would be awesome, but I don't. My oldest is 10. Chester County, I heard had some interesting situations yesterday. Good grief. I think the two biggest ones there were two that were really bad. Fayette, I think, was one, and what was the other one that was just horrendous with running out of ballots? It's a joke you bust him with. Oh my gosh, can't believe he's 18. Seriously thought he was at least in his 20s, maybe even 30s. Homeschool, it was a long year. It really was. It was an adjustment, but I definitely see the purpose and the benefit of it, and so we're going to do it again. To be one day at a time. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm actually hoping my kids don't want to go to college, because I don't think that it's an absolute necessity in order to be a success in life and do what God has called them to do. And I think nowadays it's more indoctrination. I watched B. Hizzy's thing where he graduated. People were saying, does he really? I couldn't tell when I was on that show. Are they kidding? Are they serious? Am I supposed to be smiling, laughing? Just sitting here? I smile a lot when I'm uncomfortable. I did a lot of smiling, I think, on his interview. So I don't care if my kids want to go. I actually hope they want to be entrepreneurs and they want to use their brains and their critical thinking skills and just follow what God has planned for them. Because only He can really give them the plan. He's just given them to steward their life for the short period of time that we're here. So I am from Georgia, here to support. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to seeing you guys get an audit too. He's kidding, but it's always funny. Yes, he is funny. I don't know if you're supposed to read comments while you're on here, and since you guys are talking to me, I'm still on here. I had a blast though. I really had a good time. I was very, very, very impressed when I found out how young he was, that his values are what they are, and hope my kids turn out that way. Patrick Henry College in Virginia, very much in line with those thoughts. Yes, I have. Well, like I said, my oldest is 10, so we have a ways to go. But she certainly, they loved homeschool because they love their freedom. They're starting to realize that if I get to homeschool, I don't have to go to bed at a certain time. I can sleep in a little bit, wake up when my body's rested. And so we've already got them kind of programmed for this to become what I call freedom junkies. I'm just a freedom junkie. When I got my first job out of college, oh my gosh, sitting in that cubicle drove me batty. I started thinking, wait a minute, I have to be here at a certain time. I have to eat lunch at a certain time. I have to stay till a certain time. And I have to do this the rest of my life. You've got to be kidding me. I just like freedom. I like being able to go to bed when I'm tired and wake up when I'm rested and choose what I do with my day. And thankfully, I made some choices when I was younger and made some connections with some really good, successful business people, entrepreneurs that taught me how to think and taught me how to run businesses. And I've been doing that for, let's see, I left corporate world when I was 28. Never look back. Don't miss it at all. Oh, yes, Mike Rowe. I like him. Is he the Dirty Jobs guy? He used to have a show called Dirty Jobs, I think I used to watch, which sounds like that could be not appropriate, but it is. Yeah, mom's for real, a sick day. um, Caleb, congratulations. You're going to graduate next month. That's awesome. My husband loves Waffle House, which I hate, but he loves the restaurant Waffle House, and he wants our girls to open a start Waffle House franchises around in our area. I don't know that any of them are necessarily biting on that right now, but hey, as long as they're happy and following Jesus, I'm a happy mama. Micro is still out there fighting. Good. I don't watch any TV, like zero. The television is never on in my house, so I don't know what's popular, what's not, if he still has that show. I watched it ages ago, but you love Waffle House too. Oh God, I hate Waffle House. No, my husband, he's awesome though. We're total opposites in a lot of ways, but perfectly fit together. God's design for sure. This is 45 minutes. I have 12 people watching, 24 likes, and you guys are still asking questions. So since I'm a talker, I will stay here and talk to y'all, but I should probably go to bed. Georgia County States. Did he get removed from Facebook? I don't know who you're asking about on Facebook. Awesome. Maybe she can interview you. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Reach out to me anytime. I'd love to talk to her. It's not being an entrepreneur, being a successful entrepreneur is a mindset. It's not a skill set, it's a mindset. Once you get your mind right, the rest is a piece of cake. That's the hardest part. I know, but well, this is me normal. I'm a late night person, so I'm rarely in bed before 2 a.m. This is not unusual for me at all, but it's unusual for me to have friends that are still up with me at 2 a.m. But Leanne, yeah, if you sent me all your information and stuff, we will connect. Anyway, I can help your little lady as an entrepreneur. I'm a entrepreneur junkie. My dad was a blue collar business owner. He owned an injection molding plastic plant. And I just think it's in my veins. I don't know what I was thinking going to college and getting a corporate job. That was just not the life for me. Couldn't do it. Insomniacs too. Yes, melatonin. We all need to take some melatonin. Salty cracker. I don't know if I follow that. We are getting so inundated. That's right. We're getting so inundated, and this is a good thing with keeping up with messages and emails and the Telegram chat, that I can't keep up with anything else really, because I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on in our own state. But I do want to know about things that are pertinent that are going on in other states. In Georgia, I hear you guys are working on that. Georgia, was it Candace Taylor? I just heard that the affidavits she's worked with David Jose. I mean the margin of illegitimate, I call him illegitimate Joe. Illegitimate Joe won Georgia by what, like 10,000, 12,000 votes. So that's just insane. I'm not in the salty army, whatever that is. I feel like such an idiot when I say some of this stuff because like maybe I should be calling it something else. Joey be lying. Yeah. Illegitimate Joe. Yeah, Joey bribes. China Joe. He has all kind of nicknames. I pray for him, really. I feel bad for him. He's clearly not healthy. Clearly not healthy. God has a plan. Maybe he'll repent before it's too late. I will have to take a look at that. All right, guys. It is getting late. I will do more videos. I had no idea people actually cared what I had to say and that would watch me on here and talk to me in the middle of the night. Vernon Jones had a presser today about... Oh, I did see something about Vernon Jones, but then I heard other people calling him a rhino. I'm like, he just switched. I'm so sick of thinking... elder abuse, thinking that a good guy, like in my head, everybody's either a good guy or a bad guy. You're either good or evil. There is no, I don't care what your political party is. What's good, what's evil, and you think you find a good guy, and then you start hearing other things, and you're just like, just can you wear a badge that says good guy? I thought Vernon Jones was a good guy. Glad you were on. I'm glad you guys followed me. Before I did B Hizzy's interview, I had like 200 subscribers. I did not do much. I don't know. Then a bunch of people started hopping on here and watching my videos. So I'll be doing some more. We'll keep you guys posted on everything. Bye. It was so nice to meet you. I don't know what your first name is. Kim Tone. Very nice to meet you too. Follow Out at the Vote PA. Help us out any way that you can. If you can donate, givesendgo.com/Out at the Vote PA and follow us on all our stuff. That would be awesome. We do appreciate it so much. Okay, how do I end this? There we go. Good night, guys.